Welcome back to the Unleashed Advisors YouTube channel. I am Craig Nash with the Unleashed Advisors team at EXP, and today I am with Annie Nash, another agent at EXP, and I have a special guest today. Her name is Sandy, and she is our broker. So I am very, very excited to meet and have a conversation with Sandy about broker life at EXP. So let's just dive right in. Welcome, Sandy.
Thank you. I am happy to be here. Are we here? I am very happy to be here. I really appreciate you letting me come on.
Mm-hmm. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like how long you've been a broker, how long, you've been in the business?
So I've been a broker for, I'm going on 2.5 years.
Okay.
I cut my teeth in a little indie firm in Charlotte, which is where I moved from Orlando. And it was one of the first virtual firms out there, believe it or not.
Really?
Yep. Before Glenn had the idea, believe it or not.
Wow.
So, but his virtual is not virtual like Glenn's. He doesn't have the avatars in the virtual world, but it was all from home. So I started out as a customer service type of rep, and I'm like, gosh, I really like this. I never thought I'd like real estate, but I really love this.
Uh-huh.
So I asked the BIC, I said, how can I get to be somebody that talks with the clients more? Because I love talking with them. And he said, you can be an agent. I'm like, oh, okay. So took the dive, and it was wonderful because this indie firm was also discount brokerage. So we were doing business in South Carolina, North Carolina, from Raleigh all the way over to Hickory.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was a listing agent.
Okay.
So it was great. Great way to cut my teeth in the industry because I was able to really get into the nuts and bolts of the industry and the career because I had all sorts of funky things coming at me all at the same time because I took it from the beginning all the way to the end by myself. And there was, at any given time, we had about 70 properties that we were working on. And so it was great.
That's awesome.
Great way to cut my teeth.
So why did you decide to become a broker?
Oh, gosh. I was kind of in the middle of applying for a management position as a transaction lead, specialist lead, that's how we came over from this other firm. He decided he didn't want to be a broker anymore and wanted to kind of bring his team over to EXP.
Okay.
So what happened is I came over with them. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Oh, wow, this is amazing. And, all the different classes we could take. Mm-hmm. And, I started immersing myself. And then I said, what's it like to work here? So not so happily for my BIC, I accepted a position working for EXP. And fast forward, 2 years later, a BIC called and said, would you be interested in a managing broker position? And I said, I don't know. Would I? Yes, I would. I guess. And, at the time I felt absolutely not competent to do it. Mm-hmm. I have a fear of, what do they call that? Imposter syndrome, where you kind of go, I'm going to be, giving advice to people who have been in the industry for years. What do I have that I could impart on these agents who are really out there doing it, right? And so that was very difficult at first. But 2.5 years in, I absolutely love this job. Love it.
What do you love about EXP as a broker?
Oh, what's there not to love about EXP as a broker? I love the challenge. I get to see a lot of things. I get to hear a lot of things. I hate some of it for y'all because, there are times when I'm like, oh gosh, thank goodness I'm not out there because, there are a lot of sticky situations. We have a world gone crazy sometimes. And so there are times when you kind of say, gosh, I really don't know what to tell you. But you kind of summon that, I call it, it's God, and it's like, tell me what to tell these people because some of these are very sticky situations. We have sellers pulling out. We have buyers deciding not to buy all of a sudden. And, it's kind of a different sometimes feel. But at the end of the day, they usually get to the closing table. It might be a little muddy, and you might have to really have some late nights. But for the most part, you get to the closing table, and that's what I love. I love watching everybody go. It worked. It worked. Sending me because I'm always saying, please let me know how it works out. Keep me posted. And that's not just me saying keep me posted. It's me saying, please, I want to know if what I told you helped.
Right.
So it's satisfaction, but also, yay, I didn't tell you wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So one of the things that I hear from others in the industry, other agents that are not with EXP, but they'll be like, oh, I got to talk to my BIC or my broker, and it might take a while for them. I don't ever have that issue when I'm trying to reach out to you. I've got so many different avenues.
Yeah.
Can you talk about some of the differences that EXP has as being a broker and the availability to agents?
Absolutely. Being that we're agent-centric, we are not competing brokers. This is my job, 60 hours a week or more, and, depending on the time of year. But so this is my job, to be your BIC. And that's the one thing I hear a lot of folks tell me is like, they're out there. They're like, well, we don't, the BICs are out there, but they're not responding back. You need your BICs when you need your BICs.
Oh yeah.
It's although emergencies are few and far between, you still need the advice. You're still in front of somebody possibly, and you need that information. And I love how we have so many avenues to your BIC too. It's not just, hey, I'm just going to text you. You can directly dial me. We are available Monday through Sunday. So every day of the week, 365 days a year. This is how agent-centric we are. And our typical hours of operation are 8:30 to 5:30, but we know real estate doesn't sleep at night. That's when you're doing your contracts and going, hey, I wonder if she's still up. So I've answered texts at 10:30 when I'm, trying to figure out 10:30 at night going, I should probably answer that. They may need that.
Yeah. So I remember when I first became an agent, we were sitting around a bonfire and I was trying to work a deal. So it was like early March, one of my first listings that I had. And I had no idea what was going on with FHA or one of the loan types. And we had gotten the appraisal back and there were things that we needed to work on. And so I remember calling you. It was probably not 10:30, but it was easily 8:30, 9 o'clock at night on a Friday going, help, what does this mean? And all this stuff. So it was really reassuring to me to know that you were available, even though I was like, I can't call, I can't text. This is too late at night. But you were there and you helped me through the whole thing and you checked in on me to see how it was going after we were under contract. So for me, that was really reassuring and made me know that I was in the right place.
Yeah, I love this job. I love my agents. You'll hear me say that a lot. It's not just a little thing I say. It's, they call me Mama Sandy for a reason.
Yeah.
So it's, I just, your success is my success. And when you shine, I shine. Mm-hmm. And I have the best group of agents in upstate, period, and stop. Yeah. And that's because you all are more educated in a lot of ways. And it's awesome. Yeah. So I'm sure we'll talk about that too.
Yeah, the one thing you brought up was about being agent centrist, and EXP to me is very agent obsessed on their success. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us from a broker perspective of what makes EXP different than other brokerages?
Oh gosh, besides the virtual platform, we are agile. I like the word agile. And I'll say this, that 4 years ago now, when COVID hit, and I was actually a transaction specialist at the time, and everybody's hearts were dropping, and we didn't know what was going to happen. Agents were, saying, what do we do? What do we do? They're not going to open up the office to do these closings. EXP pivoted in such a way that it was actually really, really cool to watch, because some of us felt like, oh, what's going to happen here? But we found that because we're a virtual platform, we actually had the ability to sell our platforms, build these worlds for all of these other companies that needed to still be able to do business. So that was, to me, an amazing thing. Is like everybody's going to be able to enjoy this avatar world. And I will tell you, I have never played a video game. Never. So the first time I walked into the world, I was walking into walls, and it was for my interview, and I'm walking into walls. I'm like, oh, come on. It was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I was even late as the avatar. I'm like, I'm late. I don't even know what I'm doing. But it was great. And what happens is when you're in the world, our minds are amazing, and you start to really feel like you're in your office. And you're actually having these conversations. And I know a lot of agents out there will say, yeah, but, I need an office. Do you? Do you? Because how often are you actually walking into that office? That is one of the things that I always like to refute, is that are you really using that time wisely when you're going into the office, or are you going in for the donuts and the coffee and the coffee clutch?
So I always say that about that too, being in an office. If you're in an office, you aren't making money.
Bingo.
So
yeah. So
I mean, you need to get out there.
yeah,
So.
But I do like agile and pivoting. Glenn Sanford is the most brilliant man.
Brilliant.
Just because I just watching it evolve, and just in the short time, and I do say short time because we're younger than Keller Williams, and but just what we've been able to do. We're 26 countries now.
Yeah, I think
that's what I heard last. Yeah.
Over 90,000 agents. That's just incredible.
90,000 agents, and you can refer anything to anybody. I've had people refer to India. They're doing referrals to India, and it works seamlessly. Yeah. Where else could you do that?
Yeah.
I love having that option too. So when we've got a client, especially somebody who's moving in from out of town, or somebody who's transferring out of Greenville, to be able to go, do you need me to find you an agent? And you're moving to California. Do you need me to find you an agent there? I can do that for you. And having that referral ability, that's definitely one extra thing we've got in our back pocket.
Oh, great toolkit. For sure. Mm-hmm.
So we get to come in and talk to you quite often, and usually there's something going on with our transaction or a question that we've got for you. But what is one common mistake or one thing that you see from agents that can be easily fixed that you would like to talk about today?
Yeah. Know your contracts. Take the classes. That's the biggest thing. And that's another thing that I think we hold ourselves out in the industry as being, even though, again, we're virtual, we hold classes, contract classes and documents, things that you need to know to be the value you need to be to your buyers and sellers. It's not enough for us to go out there and just say, sign here, press hard, bottom copy's yours. Mm-hmm. You need to be able to explain this. Mm-hmm. People are putting thousands of dollars into this. And so it's not absurd for us to have to explain these contracts. They're complex, but what we do is we do a deep dive, right? We go we go practically line by line, and so to me that just makes you a better agent. And I love when we can educate other agents, and they find out, oh, you have contract classes, absolutely, because sales. That's handled by the world, right? And that's the beautiful part is the world gives you 90 hours a week of marketing, Grant Cardone. You've got everything. You've got some of the biggest industry hitters in real estate right there for you that you can go into the world and listen to. What we focus on in South Carolina in our states is South Carolina related. How are you going to work that contract? So that is where I know I went off the track a little bit.
No, that's perfect.
But my big thing is know your contract. Be and we'll talk about value proposition, I'm quite sure.
Yeah. Well, and what's cool, so you talk about all the classes and stuff, is so they're all throughout the week. But if we miss it, we can always go find it in Workplace. So if it's not in the world, it's in Workplace, and it's a recorded, and there's multiple versions of it. So going and finding one that fits. Yeah, I love that.
We are awesome. I mean, I don't mean me personally, but we are awesome because we live stream it.
Yeah.
If you're taking your kids to school, or and you can put it on your phone, you've got it right there, and you can even type in or a question, and we'll answer it live stream for you. We have our weekly meeting, our state meeting. We have our contracts class directly after that. And both of those are just rich with information.
Yeah.
We can put some information in an hour, and I know you've heard it many times.
Yep.
It's like, holy cow!
I come out almost every time with a list of, hey, make sure we're doing these things.
Yeah,
Did we realize this?
Yeah.
It's always good information.
Yeah, and so there's and that's another difference, right? And I think between the brokerages is that we spend a lot of time honing our craft and researching. I spend a lot of time researching. I can't tell you how many tabs are open in my computer. 3 computers worth of 50 tabs each. And my husband comes by and goes, I just can't look at it. I just can't look at it. I'm like, I know where everything is. Leave me alone.
Don't mess with it.
Don't mess with it. This is perfect. So, but that we have a lot of,
That was probably one of the biggest surprising things when I joined EXP was the fact that there was so much training available that you just don't realize how much is out there.
Yeah.
And it's just from every aspect of the business.
Yeah.
So
University, 90 hours there. You get, I don't know, what we got, 10 hours about, in every week. So there's no excuse not to succeed. You would have to try hard not to succeed. And that's how we are offering all the tools.
Yep.
And again, that's one of the biggest concepts, or one of the biggest things that agents say. Well, we're not going to get everything. Oh, you're going to get everything and more.
Yeah.
We over deliver.
Yeah. And that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I find is really cool, is that we're constantly changing. We're constantly moving and shaking and going, okay, let's, the marketing center where you can have all your pieces, your marketing pieces are right there. You just drag and drop and create some of the most beautiful pieces to send out to your folks, and you've got that. You've got revenues. You have many, many income streams, passive and active income streams. So it's the full package. That's what I love about EXP.
Yeah. There you go. That's a good thing. So I know you have a lot of agents under your charge and stuff. How are you able to keep track of all that? And
Prayer.
that's a good way.
Yes.
I pray for my agents every single day. And I am the queen of the steno pad. I'm old school. And I have a steno pad that I have, and I write everything down. It's you get into a rhythm. You have your agents, and then you also have the things that EXP wants you to do on the side, right? And it's the make the welcome calls and things like that. Sometimes you can't get it done, but my big thing is put out the fires. And I like to look at it as I'm a professional plate spinner. I get that plate on there, and we just keep going. We're just going to keep spinning. And it's always a challenge, and it's always rewarding.
Yeah, the nice thing too is also that EXP has a little bit of support staff there to help you out. So.
Yeah. Oh, they're awesome. We have an amazing support staff. Yeah, absolutely. We couldn't do it without them. Yeah.
So that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
What do you see coming in 2024?
This is where I go, all right, I wrote down a couple of things, but a seatbelt might be needed. So what I see in 2024, we have the lawsuits. I mean, we got to talk about the elephant in the room a little bit.
Sure.
And so the lawsuits are out there. Everybody got on the bandwagon. But the thing about us, and I'm not just saying EXP, I'm saying, South Carolina in general, because we have that buyer agency agreement, we are ahead of the curve. There are only 18 in the country that have buyer agency agreements.
Really?
Really?
18
That's shocking.
states.
I was not aware of that.
So there's a lot of hurt locker going on, right? There's a lot of people going, I don't know how we're going to do this. But see, this is why I say knowledge and presenting your value. It's easier when you've got your buyer agency agreement and you're doing that now.
Yeah. What's been amazing is because we started that before even the lawsuits were started.
Yeah.
And before we heard about those.
Right.
We had those buyer agency agreements in place, and where we knew exactly what we were charging, or whether it be a buyer agent, a buyer, or whether we were getting it out of from the seller side, whatever it was.
Exactly.
And it's been interesting that when those came up, I was like, well, it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, we're already doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're, and kudos to South Carolina realtors and the forums committees for making those, and of course legislation, making those mandatory, right? So it's almost as if they had a crystal ball and knew, hey, this is,
This coming out.
this is coming out. Don't know when, but of course they're all attorneys. So, but that was one of the things that we are very fortunate in the state of South Carolina and also North Carolina, as I'm a North Carolina big as well. So, so that we don't have as much of a problem than some of our other states for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now, other things, interest rates. I know I have every agent ask me, what do you think of the interest rates are going to do? Well, we have an election year. Can we have enough things on, it's like, okay, we have this over here. We have an election year. And this is my third election cycle with, being, in real estate. And it's an anything goes, right? What I do think is that the interest rates are stabilizing. So I feel that it's going to be kind of the same market as we've had in last year, maybe a little bit better summer than we had last summer. People still have to buy homes. People still have to sell homes.
So one thing I've always found interesting about that, you say people still have to buy homes. It's been pretty consistent on historical data as far as 7 to 11% people buy homes or sell homes,
Right.
no matter what. So
Right.
it's just,
and let's not forget where we're at.
Right.
We're in the great state of South Carolina. People are coming here, and Spartanburg especially is enjoying such amazing growth. So I'm not worried. Upstate is doing just fine.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be like our COVID days, right? That was just insane.
Yeah.
I was, be honest with you, ready for it to end. I think all of us were going, this is good. We're going into a seasonal now.
So, I hated the COVID years. It was just too much for buyers and sellers. You either putting your buyer in a bad situation or you had 40 freaking offers to go over with your seller.
Yeah.
So that was just a difficult. I like the market now.
Me too.
It's just more.
Normal.
It is a normal market.
Give me normal.
I like that both sides get a chance to negotiate. So each side comes out a little bit happy. There might be something that each side had to give up, but both sides come to an agreement and it works out for both sides of the transaction. And that's what I like.
Yeah. And guess what you're learning? Negotiation, right? So we put aside all of those skills that made us truly agents, right?
Yes.
So everybody came in, low hanging fruit. Oh my gosh, I don't need to do anything. I just need to put it in front of them. I don't even need to explain it. It's, it's hot off the presses. So that was difficult, right? And then now you're seeing this, okay, how do I negotiate this?
Actually,
what do
have to work
do?
again.
I'm actually showing my worth as an agent.
Yeah.
Because negotiations is, that was one of my favorites when, as a listing agent is, give it to me. It's like, let's negotiate. But I did it in a kind way, and so that's for me. I love that we're now able to settle down and just enjoy each other's company.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
So what is one thing that you would give, what is one thing that you love about being a broker at EXP, just right off the top of your head?
My agents. best agents in upstate. I don't even know where to begin. That you all are shining stars, and it's very easy to manage agents. Number one, that you love, and number two, that are doing the right thing by their customers and clients. So that makes it very, very gratifying for me.
So, Sandy, thank you for joining us on the Unleashed Advisor channel. Wealth of information from you, and we love you as our broker. So it's back and forth here. So
it was such an honor to be here.
Yeah.
You all are you're the ones doing the workhorses. I'm in the office, trying to help, and but you all are out there in the battlefield. And my biggest thing is servant leadership. That's the way that's how you do it.
Yeah.
I don't know any other way.
Yep. Serve, don't sell.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
We appreciate you being in the background, helping hold us up as we're out there. It means a lot.
Absolutely. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, thank you for joining us on the Unleashed Advisors YouTube channel. If you are interested in maybe a real estate career, reach out to us. We have a great broker. And if you're interested in buying or selling a home in the upstate, please reach out to us. Look out, world. We are unleashed.